But Sam Donaldson, I mean, you just got so much foundational knowledge of speeches and then the after effect. And I'm wondering if you think that President Biden's Achilles heel after this speech and even coming into it is really going to be immigration and spending.
Well, immigration is a problem. And I think Mark has a point when he says that they inherited the problem, but their plan, such as it is, to do something about it is woefully inadequate. Remember one thing. People come to the United States, whether it's on our southern border or whether they come in the right way, with visas that are proper, because they want to come to this country. Why is that? Because we are the land of opportunity. If you're a poor family in Mexico or Latin America and you are in poverty and your government is not helping you out, and you see in the North Americans, you come, and to say, well, stop that. That's illegal. How dare you do this is nonsense. Now you have to have a plan somehow to do something about it. But the Biden administration has put a restriction on the number of people that it was going to help come across. First saying there'll be much more than Trump, and now keeping the same amount. It clearly is floundering in that respect. And I'll point out one other thing. All presidents like to exaggerate, and all presidents make a slip now and then. But Mark, help me out. Maybe you've been more on the news than I have been. But when President Biden says, we've got to do something about prescription drugs, we've got to let Medicare negotiate the problem. And I think he's right on that. But am I not correct that in the bill that he's now proposing, there was a big fight over whether to put prescription drugs in the bill? And he said, no, we can't do that. Now, maybe as a good negotiator, he thought that was a hill too far to get. But to sit before us and tell us he wants prescription drug reform on prices very strongly, but miss an opportunity that the left part of his party wants very much to put in the present bill, he said no. So when you listen to him, I'm not saying he's a liar. I mean, to call Joe Biden a liar compared to, well, I won't go on, but you understand, there is no comparison. But I will just simply say I think he exaggerated somewhat tonight with his successes and his wish list.
So, Mark, that's a good point. Aren't all of these speeches, a bit of hyperbole and an exaggeration of the State of the Union being so strong? I mean, look, we as Americans love to think we're strong, but we certainly have our problems.
Yeah, listen, it's a blueprint for his priorities. It doesn't always line up with the facts, and we've come to expect that from our politics, unfortunately. But we have something called the First Amendment that allows politicians to say whatever the hell they want to. But Sam made a good point about the prescription drug negotiation piece. I had read earlier today that was something that they had dropped, and so I'm surprised maybe he got the wrong version of the speech. I don't know. We'll get that cleared up, I'm sure, in the next couple of days. But again, it's a framework for. It's a framework and just that, and often these speeches are just that, and everybody forgets them 24 hours later. And we'll get down to brass tacks about what can really be done, given the polarization that we have, given the fact that there's likely to be a Republican Congress a year and a half from now. So I know Biden wants to go big. He put out a huge canvas tonight, but it's going to be pretty darn soon that he's going to be getting with Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, and the team. They're going to say, okay, listen. The clock is burning fast. What can we get done quickly, and what can we get done realistically? And that list is going to be a lot shorter than what we heard tonight.
So I just want to replay. I want to replay one thing that the president said tonight, and it was about raising taxes. I think we can all agree that George Bush, the father, struggled mightily with no new taxes, and then, of course, there were new taxes. Americans hate the five-letter word taxes, but the president, put this into the parameters of it being for people who make over $400,000. Now, I could see a lot of Americans saying, well, thank God, because that ain't me. Let's have a look at how he articulated that. I want to ask something on the other side. Take a look.
We take the top tax bracket for the wealthiest 1% of Americans, those making over $400,000 or more, back up to where it was when George W. Bush was president, when he started, 39.6%. That's where it was when George W. was president. We're going to get rid of the loopholes, allow Americans to make more than $1 million a year and pay a lower tax rate on their capital gains than Americans who receive a paycheck. We're only going to affect 0.3% of all Americans by that action. 0.3%.
Sam Donaldson, 0.3%. I just can't imagine how that isn't well received. And yet, you will see the banners across some news channels saying the panacea, and then you will see the banners across other news channels saying it's spend, 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 and it's your money. So where's the disconnect?
First, I want to say, and Mark would be quick to correct me if I didn't say it. Yes, the rate was 39.6% when George W. Bush took the oath of office. But then quickly the Republicans passed a huge tax cut bill and it came down. But the rate was that for the last 4 years of President Clinton. And guess what? It was one factor, only one factor. We had a surplus. For 4 years, we didn't have these deficits, $1 trillion deficits this year, all of that. We had a surplus. So the fact that the rich who say they're being soaked, oh, don't soak the rich. Hey, give me a couple of $1 trillion, couple of billion, give me a few 100,000. I won't tell you how low I'll go. Soak me. Soak me. I am happy. When I first started making money in this business, a long time ago in those days, the tax rate was about 50, close to 50%. And I'd hear people say, I'm not going to work anymore. Heck, I'm not going to work for a dollar. I get 50 cents to the government. I said, give me that job. I'll take 50 cents and give the government 50 cents. I don't understand this idea that's gotten, thanks to my friend, someone I admire, Ronald Reagan, in 1981, got the idea that we could just have a tax cut after a tax cut after a tax cut, and that's the salvation. As he once said, Ashleigh and Mark, my tax form would have 3 lines on it. 1, how much did you make? 2, how much do you have left? 3, send it in. We're spending. Now, if Biden gets these things, or much of it, through Congress somehow with his thin majority, and the parliamentarian in the Senate saying, well, yes, this is a money bill. You can do it with 51 votes or 50 in the vice president, but doesn't get through the ability to pay for it. In the long run, he'll help families immediately. In the long run, we're in the dumper. But I think he'll get the tax breaks also.
I'm just looking at these pictures, and just before we came back to this 3-shot, the president turned around and handed, obviously, his speech to the Speaker, Nancy Pelosi. And the last time I saw a speech in the hands of Nancy Pelosi, it didn't go so well. It was ripped. No dramatics like that tonight. But overall, Mark McKinnon, as an astute observer of politics for so many decades, and you look only 30, these speeches will typically give a president a bounce. I don't know if it matters this early in the game, but this president is coming into this chamber with 52% approval rating, and that's by, I don't know, some gauge, around 10 points higher than President Trump. Does that matter at 100 days?
It does matter. I mean, the reality is, in these partisan times, Joe Biden's never going to get much stronger than he is right now. The ceiling's just a lot lower. But the fact that he's over 50%, Donald Trump never got over 50% his entire presidency approval. He's got 67% approval on COVID relief, which was the most important thing to Americans for Joe Biden to do. So that's a pretty good way to come out of the gate. And,
Wait, hold on. He's chasing FDR by everyone's account, and you don't think he can push that ceiling if he actually does deliver? If this investment in infrastructure and human infrastructure starts to pay dividends, you don't think he can push that 52?
Not much higher, Ashleigh. I mean, it's too partisan. It doesn't matter what he does. He could cure cancer and I doubt he could get over 55 just because that.
Where's that prisoner of hope that you told me you were, like,
it's
you know,
50. That's
10
all I
minutes
need.
ago?
It's over 50. But the thing that I will say is that, you know, this is kind of the reverse Reagan, right? And what Tim Scott said sounded good, but it sounded old. It sounded like rearview mirror Republican politics. It sounded like Ronald Reagan retread. And I've been saying to Republicans, you've got to get a new roadmap. There's got to be a different vision, new ideas, and you can't just keep recoiling and returning to the old ideas and messages. And that's particularly true because what's happened, you can't just say we hate big government, because what's happened during COVID particularly is people said, oh, I get it. Now I see why we do need government. This has been a time where people have had the opportunity, unfortunately, have been forced to recognize the government has a real role in our life. And in times like these, in times of an emergency, and when we want it to work and it didn't, we saw the consequences. So I think that Biden, part of what's working for Biden is that he is, again, kind of a man for the moment and putting these things out there at a time when people are more inclined to want government to work for them and need government to work for them. So given all of that, I think that, you know, overall this was a good night for Biden. Now, you know, the rubber's going to meet the road tomorrow, and he'll meet the Great Wall of the Republican Congress, and they're going to, but he's realistic. He knows how tough it's going to be.